Heartwarming rescue, young girl discovers amazing power of CEO's hidden genius daughter. Emma clutched her colorful backpack, vibrant curls bouncing as she rushed to the local food pantry, ready to face another Saturday. The morning sun beamed down on her, an unyielding reminder of the warmth that still lingered in her heart, despite the weight of her family's financial struggles. Each week, she served meals, sharing smiles with those who came through the door, hoping to ease her mother's burden just a little. This wasn't just charity, it was duty, a steadfast determination rooted in love. One sunny afternoon, free from her food pantry obligations, Emma found herself wandering the neighborhood playground. Her heart twisted at the sight of children laughing, slotting all worries away, while she felt like an overseer of her own harsh realities. That's when she spotted Alice, a girl sitting alone on a swing, her attention buried within a sketchbook. The vibrant colors sprouting from the pages caught Emma's eye, stirring the artist dormant inside her. She took a step closer, curiosity piqued, and saw the bucolic landscapes illustrating a world untouched by their stark reality. "Wow! Those are amazing!" Emma exclaimed. The girl looked up, light blue eyes widening, vulnerability creeping into her expression. "Thanks, I'm just doodling," Alice mumbled, shuffling her pages reluctantly. But as they shared nervous smiles, an unexpected friendship blossomed in whispers. They confided their dreams, Emma's aspiration to illustrate books for children, providing them hope in their own lives. Alice sighed, confessing her desire to mold change through art, inspired by her father's world of suits and concrete jungles. They were two girls from different worlds, yet every word they exchanged wove a thread of understanding, a shared mission to impact their communities. Suddenly, their conversation grew serious as Emma's tone turned grave. "They want to replace the local businesses, including the food pantry in my neighborhood. They think that shiny buildings will bring progress." Alice felt her stomach twist. The realization washed over her like cold water. Her father's company was the very one threatening Emma's world. Tension hung in the air, snapping around them. Emma's heart raced. Could they really do something to save her community? Before they could delve deeper, a butterfly flitted by, and Alice smiled hesitantly. Maybe we can help." Emma's determination surged. They brainstormed ideas, Alice's corporate insights blending with Emma's community ties. Tension twisted their friendship, prey to the prejudice thriving in the nearby town. Emma felt an ache in her chest as she imagined the whispers among neighbors when they discovered Alice's last name. But it was more than friendship at stake. So much rested on their collaboration, so much hope flickering between them. Days slid by, leading up to a fervent town hall meeting. Emma felt the weight of the moment pressing against her, the fear of what their neighbors might say. "Alice, are you ready?" she asked, panic creeping in. "I've been practicing," Alice replied, trying to sound brave. But doubt etched lines on her face. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." As Alice took the stage that fateful night, hope and tension crackled in the air. Emma's heart pounded fiercely, an urgent rhythm mirroring the bottled weight of their dreams. Would Alice's words break through? Would they resonate amid the growing discontent? Would this moment be their bridge or their end? Emma held her breath, recognizing the pivotal moment that could either lift them or shatter everything. Alice stood behind the podium, her heart racing like a wild drum. The room was packed, a sea of skeptical faces flickering under the fluorescent lights. Emma sat near the front, a reassuring smile plastered on her face, though her heart was anything but calm. She remembered the first time they had met, how art had bound them together when life's burdens threatened to pull them apart. Taking a deep breath, Alice opened her mouth to speak. Thank you all for being here," she began, her voice shaky but steadying as she caught a glimpse of Emma's encouraging nod. "I know change is scary. I see so many of you here who are passionate about our community, and I share that passion." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, some skeptical, others intrigued. This was not just any town hall meeting, it was a crossroads, a decision that could define their futures. Alice straightened her back, channeling Emma's bravery. "I want to talk about the new development plan my father's company proposed. I understand why many of you are worried about it, and I want to be clear I am worried too." Emma's eyes widened. Had Alice just admitted uncertainty? This was their moment, yet vulnerability hung thick in the air, threatening to dissolve their fragile alliance. But Alice continued, sensing the shuffling in the crowd, "I believe there's a way to build progress while preserving what makes our community special." Her voice grew stronger, fueled by the urgency surging within her. "What if we could include community spaces in the development? Places where local businesses can thrive, like the food pantry that means so much to so many." Hope sparked in Emma's heart as she watched the audience's expressions shift. "We can do both," Alice urged, pouring every ounce of her passion into every word. "This is an opportunity to bridge the old with the new, to create a space that honors our history while looking forward." There was a ripple of agreement from the back of the room. This was it, the moment they both needed. But as the crowd began to murmur in support, a gruff voice cut through. "And who do you think you are, standing there in front of us, talking about change? You don't live our lives." The words sliced through the air, heavy with resentment. Alice's heart sank. Had she just become a target for the very anger she sought to mend? All eyes now focused on her, the tension in the room palpable. "I may not understand everything about your lives, but I want to learn," she began slowly. "I want to help. My dad thinks that building fancy new buildings will help our town, but I know it won't matter if it pushes away the people I care about. We can come together." Tension thrummed in the air as silence fell. Emma felt her skin prickle with anticipation. This was their battle, the line drawn between hope and despair. But could they really change the hearts of those in the room? Suddenly, a little hand shot up from the back. It was a familiar face. Max, a boy from the pantry. "I like what she says. We need a garden too. Not just tall buildings." His voice was small, but his certainty rang loud and clear. Encouragement started to build in the crowd, like a wave gaining momentum. Alice's eyes sparkled with fresh energy. "Yes. A community garden. An art space for kids. A safe place for families." The tension began to evolve, shifting towards collaborative ideas. Enthusiasm sparked from the most unexpected sources. Emma's heart swelled with pride. They could transform together. As a chorus of voices chimed in, bringing forth ideas and dreams, Alice locked eyes with Emma. Their journey was just beginning, but already their words were building bridges to a future they had both only dared to dream about. But just as the momentum reached its peak, the meeting came crashing down as the mayor stood up, his expression grave. "These ideas are nice, but they will cost money. And money is something we don't have." Emma's heart sank again. Doubt hung in the air like a heavy fog. Would their dreams vanish? Could a simple idea fuel the change they desperately wanted? And just then, Alice turned to Emma. Determination sparking in her eyes. "What if we did a fundraiser? Something big? Something that would attract all of our town?" Emma's breath caught. This could be their chance to rally their community. But would they have the courage to take that first step together? As they began to formulate a plan, the whispers around them faded into a backdrop of possibility. Together, they might even challenge the very foundations of their town. Could they truly gather enough support to create the change they craved? Would they be a part of their community's future, or become ghosts in a newly built city? Emma's heart raced with hope and fear, ready to embark on the next big leap toward the future they both envisioned. As the meeting ended, the buzz of conversation filled the room like static electricity. People were mingling, their faces painted with excitement mixed with lingering skepticism. Alice and Emma huddled together at the edge of the crowd, brainstorming wildly with one another. "Do you really think we can pull off a fundraiser?" Emma asked, biting her lower lip. "Absolutely. If we can get everyone together, we can really show the mayor that our ideas matter. We can create this movement." Alice's voice had found a vibrant steadiness. But doubt still gnawed at Emma. What if no one shows up? What if it gets chaotic? What if? A lot of what ifs, Alice interrupted gently, placing a reassuring hand on Emma's shoulder. What if it works? We can't let fear stifle our hopes. Look at Max. His words had power. We can bring everyone into this. As they looked around, Emma noticed familiar faces: neighbors, parents, teachers, people who had gathered in that hall out of love for their community. For the first time in a while, her heart soared with the warmth of possibility. "You're right," she said, a flame of resolve igniting within her. "We need to inspire them. Make them feel part of something bigger." The next few days were a whirlwind. They mapped out plans, enlisted volunteers, and drummed up excitement. Flyers were made, nails were hammered into plywood signs, and the local bakery agreed to donate goods. Each conversation felt charged with a sense of urgency, a chance to transform their dreams into reality. But the clock was ticking. Their fundraiser was set for a few weeks away, and doubts began to creep in. Emma could see fatigue in Alice's eyes, her smile holding a thread of worry. Still, Alice rallied them with reminders of Max, his bright voice echoing in her mind. "We can reach kids like Max and create something lasting," Alice said at one gathering. "Let us focus on our goals: community gardens, art spaces, safe areas for families. This is about all of us." The day of the fundraiser finally arrived. Emma stood at a makeshift booth, her heart thumping loudly. People filtered in, hesitant at first, but then laughter and chatter filled the air as families arrived, encouraged by friends and neighbors. A colorful banner stretched across the entrance: "Together we thrive." Alice moved about, her enthusiasm contagious. She engaged everyone who wandered over to their booth, recounting their vision and collecting donations. Emma helped with the activities, watching with pride as children painted bright canvases, their dreams spilling across each stroke. Yet, as the evening sun dipped below the horizon and the light sparkled to life, something strange began to happen. A few well-meaning patrons arrived, armed with negativity fueled by naysayers from the meeting. "This is just a distraction," one man said loudly, "a waste of time." Emma's heart threatened to falter under the weight of those words. She exchanged glances with Alice, who looked equally unsettled. Suddenly, Max darted towards them, arms waving like a dandelion in the wind. "Look! I made a big painting." His voice rang clear, a cheerful note that cut through the rising tension, but just as the atmosphere began to crack, Emma spotted someone unexpected. It was the mayor, surrounded by his entourage. He looked at the art, the banner, the crowd. His expression was unreadable. Could this be the moment they had hoped for? Would he recognize not just the effort, but the heart and determination that bound the community together? As silence loomed, Alice took a deep breath and moved towards the mayor, her courage matching the heavy weight of the moment. Emma felt her pulse quicken in anticipation. What would he say? Would their hard work finally pay off? Would he see what they had built together? As Alice approached the mayor, the ground felt unsteady beneath Emma's feet. A million thoughts raced through her mind. What if this was their last chance? The hopes of so many were resting on Alice's shoulders. Emma took a steadying breath, trying to gather her own resolve. She watched, eyes fixed on the two figures: the mayor, stony-faced and imposing, and Alice, whose determination radiated like the sun breaking through clouds. Alice stopped just a few feet from him. "Mr. Mayor," she started, her voice shaky but loud enough to reach the crowd. "Thank you for coming. We wanted to show you what our community is capable of when we come together." She gestured towards the murals the children had painted, each canvas alive with color and emotion. These kids are dreaming big. They deserve a space where they can express themselves, where their voices can be heard. The mayor studied the paintings, his brow furrowing for a moment. Emma held her breath, the air taut with expectation. Would he dismiss them? Would it all come crashing down? Before Emma could spiral into doubt, an excited shout brought her back. Max had wandered over. "Mr. Mayor! Look at my painting." He grabbed the mayor's hand, leading him over to a swirling landscape filled with trees and a blue sky. "I want to plant trees in our neighborhood." The mayor crouched down, looking eye to eye with Max, who stood proud and wide-eyed. "You made this?" he asked, his voice softer now. Max nodded vigorously, his enthusiasm contagious. Behind him, other children began to gather, chattering about their creations, their laughter cutting through the lingering tension. Emma felt a wave of warmth wash over her, hope flickering like a candle. She couldn't help but smile. Maybe that enthusiasm would spark something in the mayor too. "Kids like you are the future," he said finally, glancing up at the crowd, then back down at Max. "We need to invest in that future." A murmur of disbelief raced through the crowd. Had they just heard what they thought they did? "Fund them, Mr. Mayor," called out Mrs. Thompson from the back, her voice a powerful connection of support. "We have a town meeting on Tuesday. Maybe you can listen to more ideas then." The mayor nodded slowly, rising to his full height, but there was a new softness in his expression, something that hadn't been there before. "I'll be there," he said. "This isn't just about one event. It's about lasting change in our community." A cheer erupted. Emma looked at Alice, who was beaming, her eyes glistening. They had done it. But then Emma's heart sank as she remembered the naysayers. They wouldn't be swayed by a single night, would they? What if they turned the mayor against this idea before it even started? Emma's stomach nodded, but Alice seemed to sense her worry. "Let us keep the momentum going," she exclaimed, rallying the crowd. "Let us commit to being involved. We can even start community boards." People nodded, enthusiasm flowing back into the air. Everyone was already buzzing with new ideas. Emma's heart soared again, feeling the unity among them. She began to speak, sharing ideas, her voice coming alive with the energy surrounding her, and just as they began to settle into plans and excitement, she felt her phone vibrate in her pocket, half wondering if it was a notification about more support from local businesses when she realized it wasn't a message. It was a call from an unknown number. Tension surged through her again, an unexpected turn needing attention. She hesitated, but the sense of urgency pulled her away from the eager conversations around her. "I need to take this," Emma said quickly to Alice, who nodded, still wrapped up in the community's buzz. Glancing back toward the booth just before stepping away, Emma's heart began racing again. What if this was news they desperately needed for their future? With trepidation, she answered the call. But would it bring news of help or another challenge? Each ring felt like an eternity. "Hello," she said, anxiety threading her voice. "Is this Emma Baker?" the voice on the other end asked, deep and authoritative. "Yes. I have information that you need to hear." Questions swirled in Emma's mind all at once. What could it be? Would it change everything? She pressed the phone tighter against her ear, ready to uncover what was at stake. "Emma Baker, it's a pleasure to finally speak with you. My name is Jonathan Lee, and I work for Evergreen Innovations." Emma's heart raced. Evergreen Innovations was a company she knew well, known for their community involvement and support for youth projects. She struggled to keep her composure. "What can I help you with?" "There's been a lot of buzz surrounding your community art initiative. I wanted to reach out personally to express my support, but I have something more specific in mind that you'll want to hear." "Okay," Emma said, her voice steadying. "What is that?" "I'm aware of the upcoming town meeting on Tuesday," Jonathan continued. "Our CEO, Ms. Miranda Cook, will be attending. She has a long history of philanthropy and actively encourages corporate responsibility among her staff. We're interested in discussing how Evergreen Innovations could not only support your initiative but also collaborate with you for future projects. A wave of hope swept over Emma, engulfing her in warmth. Really? We could really use the support. She could almost hear the gears turning in her mind, envisioning how this would change everything. A partnership with Evergreen could mean resources, funding, and visibility that they desperately needed. Yes, and there's something else we'd like to involve some of your talented kids in our next campaign. Our team has been inspired by their artwork. Emma beamed. They would love that. I can't believe this. Moreover, Jonathan continued, Ms. Cook has a daughter who is passionate about art and community engagement. She has been looking for ways to connect with young artists. I believe it could be a wonderful learning experience for everyone involved. Emma paused, a warm surge of curiosity bubbling in her chest. What is her name? Her name is Lila. She is shy but incredibly gifted, he replied, a hint of pride in his voice. This may just be the opportunity she needs. Emma's heart sparked with a new idea. This was more than just a chance to update the community on their efforts, it was a bridge for the children to connect with someone who truly understood their passion. This is incredible, Jonathan. What should we do next? We'll arrange a meeting after Tuesday. In the meantime, I recommend you focus on making that meeting impactful. Show them what the kids can do. I will. Thank you so much. This means the world to us. After hanging up, Emma felt lighter, like she could float away. She felt a spark of energy gleaming among the uncertainty. This was it. Their initiative could be the turning point she had always hoped for, connecting their community to larger dreams. As she headed back, Emma saw Alice and the children still animatedly discussing plans. Emma grabbed Alice's arm, unable to contain her excitement. You won't believe what I just heard. Evergreen Innovations is on board. They want to meet the kids. Alice's eyes widened. Really? That's amazing. From the crowd, Max jumped up and down, a bright light in the sea of joy. Can we paint more now? Absolutely. Emma replied, her laughter blending with their joy, a beautiful harmony resonating through the gathering. She knew challenges still lay ahead, but for now, they had a foot in the door. Yet, as the excitement grew, a faint shadow crept back in her mind. She couldn't shake the feeling that not everyone would be happy about this new development. Past experiences whispered caution, warning her about the hurdles yet to come. Emma exchanged glances with Alice, a silent understanding passing between them. What if the naysayers put obstacles in their path, or what if they didn't get the support they expected? As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the group, a sense of apprehension mingled with hope. Emma knew she had to stay vigilant, ready for any backlash. But in that moment, surrounded by the laughter and creativity of the children, she couldn't help but wonder what would happen if Lila's involvement changed everything. What if their breakthrough was just within reach? The days trickled by, each one filled with a mix of anticipation and nervous energy as Tuesday's town meeting drew closer. Emma felt her heart thump like a drum against her ribs, a constant reminder of the opportunity that loomed just ahead. The thought of standing in front of the community, showcasing the kids' artwork, made her anxious but equally excited. Emma! Alice called, breaking her thoughts. Have you finalized the presentation yet? Emma shook her head, a smile creeping onto her face. Not yet, but I have a vision. We'll make it count. They gathered together with the kids in the school's art room, walls plastered with colorful paintings and drawings. The air buzzed with creativity and inspiration. Emma realized how lucky they were to have this space. It was a sanctuary, full of imagination and heart. As the children huddled around their easels, talking excitedly about what they would present, Emma could see each of their unique styles coming to life. She imagined how impactful it would be to showcase this talent to the community and to Miranda Cook. Let us make a mural. A big one. Max shouted, his wide eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. I love that idea. Emma encouraged. We'll create something that reflects who we are as a community. It was not just a mural, it was a statement. One that showed the world their resilience, their creativity, and their deep connection to each other. As they painted, Emma noticed a slight shift in energy. Some of the kids who had once expressed insecurity about their talents were now fully immersed, throwing themselves into the task with fervor. This teamwork and spirit buoyed Emma's confidence. She was witnessing something beautiful, a transformation where fear turned into creativity, doubt morphed into pride, but amid the excitement, Emma felt those familiar nagging doubts creep back in. What if others didn't support this? What if there were negative voices trying to undermine what they were doing? She couldn't let that steal their moment, yet the whisper of uncertainty lingered. That evening, as she prepared for the meeting, she looked at her reflection, searching for assurance. She took a deep breath, reminding herself of all the hard work that had gone into this project. You've got this, she whispered. You owe it to the kids. On the night of the meeting, the little community center was swamped with people. Emma felt the stirrings of excitement in her stomach as she scanned the room. When she spotted Jonathan and Ms. Cook, her heart raced. Remember to breathe, Alice whispered beside her, squeezing her hand gently. As Emma took her place in front of the crowd, her eyes fell on the children. They were beaming, their faces lit with hope. She opened her mouth to speak, and all her fears faded as she felt their energy fueling her. We've been working on something special, Emma began. The kids shifted eagerly, ready to present their artwork. This mural represents our dreams, our struggles, and our community's heartbeat. Just then, Emma noticed a group standing at the back, arms crossed, casting doubtful looks. The familiarity of their expression sent a chill through her. Would there be pushback already? But something deeper resonated within her, a determination to prove that their dream mattered. As the children showcased their art, Emma's voice grew stronger. She poured her heart into every word, celebrating their growth and potential. The looks of concern in the back began to shift, just slightly. Perhaps they would see what Emma felt, a spark of change sparking in the room. As the presentation ended, the crowd erupted with applause. Emma saw Lila standing at the front, shyly tucked behind her mother, yet somehow radiating confidence as well. She smiled at Emma, and in that moment, everything felt possible, but when the clapping faded, a silence fell. The group from the back stepped forward, their expression still unreadable. Interesting, one of them said, an edge to her voice. But we still have some concerns. Emma's heart sank. What were they going to say? The very foundation of their dream felt like it was hanging by a thread. What would they do when faced with the hurdles rising in front of them? Emma found herself holding her breath, aware that the moment of truth hung in the air. The woman from the back stepped closer, her eyes narrowing as she spoke. We're curious how you plan to fund this project, and what assurances do we have that it won't become a burden on the community resources? Emma felt her stomach twist. The words felt like ice-cold water poured over a fire. She glanced at the kids, their expectant eyes still filled with hope, and took a breath to steady herself. We believe the mural can be self-sustaining. We aim to collaborate with local businesses for support, and we can even hold fundraising events to ensure it becomes an integral part of our town, not a burden. A murmur ran through the crowd, a mixture of skepticism and intrigue. She noticed some heads nodding in agreement. Encouraged, Emma leaned into the energy of the room. This isn't just about art. It's about creating a space where our community can come together. This mural will offer a platform to showcase our collective story, a story of growth, diversity, and unity. The woman raised an eyebrow, still unconvinced. And what of those who may not want their properties depicted in your mural? Emma felt doubt creeping back in, but she pushed it aside. She'd seen the children's determination, their belief in something greater than themselves. That's the beauty of community projects. We welcome input from everyone during the design phase. This is meant to reflect us all. We want every voice to be heard. Another audience member spoke up, a man with kind eyes. I see what you're trying to do, Emma. But you know, change doesn't come easy in this town. Before he could finish, a girl from the back shouted, we can't let fear stop us from making something beautiful. The room went silent as all eyes turned to her. Emma recognized Lila's little sister, Jenna, standing boldly on a chair. This mural shows how amazing we are. Adults can be scared, but kids can dream. Jenna's courage rippled through the audience, and slowly, smiles formed. Emma felt warmth spread through her. Exactly, she said, nodding at the girl. This mural symbolizes hope. Together, we'll create a space for dreams. We've got everything to gain by working together. The woman crossed her arms but didn't back down. Still, that doesn't address our issue. Let me ask you this, Emma interjected, driven by newfound conviction. What concerns you more, an abandoned lot, or a mural filled with our community's spirit? I believe we can inspire our town, maybe even lead to positive change in the long run. Emma could sense the shift. The crowd began whispering among themselves, eyes darting from one small voice to another. Hearts opened slightly, shifting from doubt to curiosity. Emma felt a spark within herself that she hadn't noticed before. She continued, heart racing, we can't escape every challenge, but we can choose how we respond to them. This project isn't just for kids, it's for all of us, encouraging resilience in tough times. She held her breath, silence amplifying her every emotion. Then, Jonathan spoke up, his voice steady and supportive. If the kids want it, I say we support them. They are the future of this town. Emma couldn't help but smile, her heart swelling. Maybe they were on the cusp of something incredible, but the woman still stood strong, assessing the room. Let's say we agree to one trial mural first just to see if it actually serves this community. Relief washed over Emma, but she knew it was only the beginning of a new struggle. Thank you, she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. We'll make this the best trial you've ever seen. As Emma stepped down, she noticed Lila with tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. Did you hear that? We have a chance. But Emma's joy was tempered by the knowledge that even this small victory brought its own set of challenges. What if they really failed to deliver? How could they prove their worth as a group? The resolve in the room had sparked hope, but it was still fragile and needed nurturing. Emma grasped Lila's hand, squeezing it tight. They were in this together, and just as things started to settle, the woman from the back turned around, her eyes sharp. Just remember, big ideas come with big responsibilities. The echo of her words hung in the air like a shadow, and Emma suddenly felt the weight of all that was ahead. Could they truly transform this dream into reality? Would the community rally around them, or would doubt creep back in to steal their victory? Emma took a deep breath, ready for the road ahead. The following days were a whirlwind. Emma and the kids immediately got to work on humming the project into motion. The air felt electric, buzzing with both excitement and anxiety. Conversations exploded in the community center, parents were urged to join in, and Lila rallied her friends, spreading the word. They couldn't back down now. Every morning, they met for brainstorming sessions. Color palettes were splattered on large sheets of paper, and sketches flowed freely as imagination took flight. Jenna, infused with the spirit of her impromptu speech, was relentless. She challenged everyone, asking, "What does our town mean to you?" Their responses simmered with emotion, a melting pot of stories, struggles, and triumphs. Emma watched their faces light up as they shared. Together they crafted phrases like "Hope lives here" and "Unity in diversity." Each child was given a voice, and each idea was golden. Emma felt the growing weight of responsibility. She was the leader now, carrying the hopes of those kids, the community, and her own dreams. But beneath her determination, fear still clung. What if things went wrong? What if the mural didn't resonate with the town as they envisioned? One afternoon, Jonathan pulled her aside, a contemplative look on his face. Emma, you need to remember, this isn't just about the mural. It's about building trust. People need to see that we're committed. His words hit home. She nodded, knowing that they weren't just fighting for a mural but for a sense of belonging, a little piece of home. The days blended together as they mapped out fundraisers, reaching local businesses for support. Some were on board, sparking excitement, while others remained indifferent. Then came the meeting with the town hall, a crucial moment to present their plan, propose the first trial mural. Emma gathered her notes, her resolve hardening. Questions buzzed in her mind. Would anyone really care? Would their ideas take flight? On the night of the meeting, the room was packed. Families filled the seats, their whispers mingling with the rustle of papers as Emma took center stage. Each face reflected hope and doubt. Thank you for gathering for this, she started, her heart racing. As she outlined their vision, the room felt charged. She got to the heart of the children's stories, the meaning behind every color they had chosen. It's not just paint on a wall, she implored, silence wrapping around her. This mural is a testament to our resilience, to the dreams we can achieve together. The crowd was silent, eyes wide, but then a familiar voice broke through. Jenna stood up, beaming with pride. We're doing this for everyone. This mural is our way of showing what we can be. The kids joined in, echoing her enthusiasm. Applause erupted like sparks igniting a flame. But as cheers filled the air, Emma's stomach twisted with uncertainty. She glanced at the woman who had questioned her weeks ago, now leaning back in her seat, arms crossed, still wary that as the applause faded, tension gnawed at the edges of Emma's thoughts. They had captured the passion, but doubts remained. After the meeting, Emma caught up with Jonathan in the hallway. Do you think we convinced them? She asked, anxiety creeping in. More than before, he replied with a hopeful smile. Yet somewhere in the recesses of her mind, shadows remained. Would hope turn to reality, or would their dream come crashing down? As they gathered their things to leave, a voice called out from the entrance. Wait! It was the woman from the back. Emma's heart raced. She couldn't tell if this was good news or another hurdle. What is it now? Emma wondered, barely able to mask her dread. And just like that, the air shifted again, thick with possibilities. What could this woman have to say? Would it be the support they desperately needed, or another roadblock to their dream? Emma's heart pounded with questions, and she braced herself for the answer. The woman stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. Emma felt the room hold its breath. The woman's sharp features softened slightly as she looked at Emma. I've been thinking about your presentation, she said, her voice steady but edged with caution. Emma's heart lurched. Could this be the moment when doubts began to clear? I know you have good intentions, the woman continued, glancing around at the gathered crowd before her gaze returned to Emma. But I also know that good intentions aren't always enough. We need action. Talk is cheap. Her words stung, yet Emma felt a strange spark within her. This wasn't a dismissal, it was a challenge. A call to arms. What lay beneath the surface of this woman's tough exterior? Emma couldn't tell yet, but deep down, she knew it was time to respond. I understand that, Emma replied, standing tall. This project is about more than just painting a mural. It's about each of us taking that first brave step towards building our community. We need to start somewhere. The crowd murmured, a wave of energy rippling through them, moving past uncertainty and toward curiosity. Emma could feel their eyes shift between her and the woman, awaiting the next move. Just as the tension reached a boiling point, the woman took a deep breath, her demeanor changing slightly. Maybe you're right, she admitted, her voice softer. But you'll need more than kid stories and enthusiasm. You need resources, skills, a real plan. What are you suggesting? Emma asked, her own heart racing with hope. Perhaps this was turning into an opportunity rather than an obstacle. I could help you, she said, her eyes now steady. I run a marketing firm. We could create a campaign that puts your mural at the forefront, showcasing not just its beauty, but the stories behind it. If the town can grasp the emotional depth of what this symbolizes, they might just get on board. Emma's breath caught. The last words hung in the air like a lifeline tossed to a drowning swimmer. You would do that for us? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. I'm not doing it for free, the woman said, her tone firm again, but with a hint of playfulness. You'll have to work with me and show that the children understand the journey so I can showcase their voices. This is only the beginning. The kids erupted with energy, some cheering, while others exchanged surprised glances. Emma's eyes sparkled. They didn't just have someone on board, they had a mentor who could guide them through it. Let us do this, she said, feeling the weight of fear lift. Let us build something unforgettable. As the excitement swirled around her, Emma couldn't shake a sense of nervous anticipation. Could they really pull this off? Would they be able to step into this new realm of possibility and make it work? After the meeting, with spirits high, Emma and Jonathan began formulating plans on how to integrate the new strategy. Thrumming with hope, they visualized the mural becoming a community anchor, a beacon of light symbolizing their collective resilience, but just as they were capturing their thoughts, they were interrupted by the arrival of several children, wide-eyed and brimming with ideas. Emma! We need to take charge of what our mural will look like. One of them exclaimed, excitement overflowing. Emma smiled at their enthusiasm but felt a familiar pang of anxiety rush back. We can do that, she said, feeling the weight of responsibility return. But we have to work together. Every suggestion counts. But doubt was starting to creep back in. What if the kids didn't agree? What if they couldn't execute the woman's vision? As the group began to discuss colors and themes, Emma glanced at Jonathan, who nodded with a reassuring smile. She took a deep breath and plunged into the planning, yet somewhere in the pit of her stomach, uncertainty lay waiting. Would they be able to meet the expectations set before them? The evening felt electrifying yet precarious, lit up by the chatter of ideas and dreams. Emma couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing at the edge of something monumental. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the community center, she knew one thing for certain: their journey was just beginning. But would they be able to navigate the turbulent waters of ambition, or would the weight of expectations drive them apart? As ideas brewed in the air, the true challenge awaited just around the corner. The day of the mural unveiling arrived, and the streets felt alive with energy. Emma could hardly breathe. She stood at the bustling town square, decorated with vibrant banners and blooming flowers, each a testament to the hard work that had led them here. The sun shone brightly, casting a golden hue over everything and filling her with warmth and hope. She was surrounded by children who had poured their hearts into this project, each one buzzing with excitement. Are you ready for this? Alice asked, her voice gleeful yet tinged with nerves. Emma laughed, glancing at the crowd gathering, eager to witness what they had created together. Yes. Let us show them our community spirit. Emma replied, clenching her fists in determination. As the time approached, she and Jonathan stood side by side, ready to introduce the mural. Emma's heart raced as she looked out at the crowd. Faces turned toward her with curiosity and excitement, but lingering doubts bubbled beneath the surface. They had attracted attention, but would it be enough? Taking a breath, she stepped forward. Thank you all for being here today. She called out, her voice ringing bright and clear. The murmurs quieted as she continued, this mural represents everything we stand for, our dreams, our struggles, and our love for our community. From behind her, the children stood proud, wearing t-shirts emblazoned with Together We Thrive. Emma's heart swelled at the sight. With the anticipation palpable, Jonathan leaned in. Today, we're unveiling not just a mural, but the voices of our future, the voices of our community. As he spoke, Emma felt her own fears melting away, replaced by an overwhelming sense of purpose. This mural embodies all our stories, our aspirations, and our commitment to one another, she added. Each color, each stroke, reflects the hope we share and the change we want to ignite together. Then, without a moment to waste, they pulled the fabric away, unveiling a mesmerizing piece of art. The colors burst forth, vibrant flowers intertwined with murals of faces, hands reaching for the sky, and words of hope woven into the design. Emma caught sight of Jenna beaming among the crowd, her tiny frame bouncing up and down with joy. Gasps of awe filled the square, the crowd's reaction an unexpected wave of warmth that engulfed her. Emma's heart raced. This was it, they were truly connecting, but just as a cheer erupted from the crowd, a familiar voice pierced through the moment, cutting through the joy. "What good is this if it doesn't come with real action?" It was the woman from before, arms crossed, eyes scanning the mural critically. Emma took a deep breath. "This is just the start," she said, maintaining her composure. "We're showing that art can inspire change, but we'll also be holding workshops, community meetings, and future projects that engage everyone actively." "You mean you're willing to back this up with real plans?" the woman pressed. "Yes," Emma affirmed, a fire igniting within her. She looked at the crowd and continued, "We're building a foundation for dialogue, collaboration, and ongoing support. This mural will be more than paint, it will be a symbol of unity. Then let us see it work. We need to keep that momentum alive." The woman shouted, this time with an unmistakable note of encouragement. A ripple of agreement fluttered across the crowd, heads nodding. Emma felt the weight lift, hope surged again. As applause cascaded around her, she glanced at Alice, who gave her a wink, her own excitement evident. Emma turned back, a confident smile blooming on her face. "Together, we can create movement, foster creativity, and inspire growth for everyone in our town." One by one, voices called out, sharing ideas for upcoming workshops, plans for a community garden, and more projects that combined art and local businesses. The kids beamed, feeling empowered, knowing they were not just participants but leaders of change. As the celebration continued, laughter floated in the air, and Emma felt tears of joy spill over her cheeks. She took a moment to breathe and soak it all in. This was family. This was togetherness. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows over the gathering, but there was light in their hearts that would only grow brighter. Emma knew that they had taken a step forward, creating a new narrative for their community, a future held in the hands of those willing to believe, those who dared to dream. In the days that followed, the excitement blossomed even further. Meetings were organized, partnerships formed, and Emma embraced her role as a leader. Together with Alice, they committed to nurturing this seed of hope, ensuring it would grow, flourish, and bear fruit for generations to come. As the mural stood tall in their community, a colorful beacon of resilience, Emma realized that their shared journey was only the beginning. They could stand against the challenges that lay ahead. Together, now is your moment to join this journey. You need to subscribe now, so you don't miss our next inspiring stories. Leave a like right now to help us feed the algorithm and keep this momentum going. Comment below about your feelings on this heartwarming ending. Let us hear your voices, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this amazing transformation. Let us spread the joy and inspiration far and wide.